character in neutral, just out of neutral, like fly swatter them, that seems pretty hard and ballsy to do in general.
So, I think one of the big things with undershoots, so my personal opinion is that undershoots are the most powerful option. I think whiff punishing is second, and I think overshooting is third. I think the thing about overshooting is simultaneously the weakest, but it's also the strongest in certain contexts because it is the weakest. So it is the one that people tend to play to, like, people play around it the least, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because, so it's a weighted rock, paper, scissors, because the thing that, like, makes whiff punishing and undershooting powerful is that one of them is undershooting is a proactive play. It is something that you are doing, like, because it helps you advance your game plan and moves things forward in a favorable way. So an example of this could be, like, when Peach takes space using her, like, low float aerials. Like, they're an undershoot because the only way that you really get hit by them is, like, moving forward into her space, but she's not really trying to chase your retreat either, you know what I mean? So in that way, that, like, undershoots can kind of accomplish both keeping the opponent out, but also expanding your territory. A good example of the that would be expanding your territory. Keeping somebody out would just be like Marth or Sheik's, like, sword and leg patterns. And those are very powerful. Like, I think we can agree, or even Icy's auto-cancel back air, right? Like, I think we can generally agree that those are very strong tools for keeping people away from us. And, like, for, like, denying somebody from, like, pressing on us. I would say that whiff punishing is second strongest because while it doesn't usually advance your game plan directly, it has the benefit of being good against the best option, and it also doesn't commit you. So there's the least amount of risk involved in certain ways. So those two, like, I think that's why those two are the strongest. Overshooting, it's good because it deals with the least committal option, but there's a little bit more preparation involved because you have to make a read.
Yes. That's mostly why overshooting is something historically I don't really do a lot of because it just seems scary to me.
Yeah, well, we're going to be stepping outside your comfort zone then. Because the thing is, your character is very good at like, as a wave dash character, your character is actually quite good at overshoots.
Yeah.
Like, the ability to, like, charge into somebody, like a Fox's dash dance, like the end of their dash dance zone and forward smash them or down smash them or whatever, is one of, like, your character's big perks. It's one of Luigi's big perks. It's even one of the things that makes Marth so special, right? Their long wave dashes allows them to, like, place their normals further into somebody's territory than, like, say, traditional movement, like traditional like dash dance movement would allow. So in that regard, this is a strength of your character that if you're not using it, you're leaving it on the table.
Yes, I agree. I need to figure out when to use it, and this is an abstract conversation that could go for a long time, I'm sure, but just like, I think there was something you said last time, last lesson, where there's a situation, I think I said, like, oh, I was standing there waiting for them to, like, roll into me or something, and you were like, just hit them first or something. So I know of a very simple game plan of just, like, if you hit their one option, just keep hitting it until they prove they change it. I tend to have some wishy-washiness where I think, oh, I'm playing a better person, they're not going to get hit by that again, so I need to change as well. I need to change my next option as well.
So what do you think? So, okay, I see. So, like, the idea is that, like, okay, I think I get what you're saying. So you're saying that, like, your approach to this is when you're fighting higher quality opponents, you kind of assume preemptively that you need to change what you're doing when something is working or when something is not working, or both?
Both. I feel like top players constantly, I feel like I need to constantly change and never let them have a hint of what I'm doing, what I'm going for.
But then how are you going to, like, manipulate them if they have no idea what you're going for?
It's a good thought.
Yeah, because, like, so the thing is, this to me gets back to structure. So there are certain mix-ups that are just not worth playing because they harm your character's structure a little too much. For instance, I could go as Sheik for, like Sheik I think is a good example of this, because Sheik is a very structured character because of, like, the nature of how her tools work. So Sheik can play mix-ups where she's, like, willing to scrap and look for her tilts at below the percents where they work, but these are not mix-ups that are worth playing, in my opinion, for the most part. Not at first, anyway. There's ways you can make them work, but for a starting point, it doesn't make sense to represent them, because the basic things that you can expect your opponent to do, that you can observe them doing, is playing grounded, looking to bait out the grabs, and looking to, like, avoid the aerials, because the aerials have, like, a beat in front of them because of how much. Because she has to go up or go onto a platform and then kind of come down with them to hit most characters. So, with that understanding in mind, the Sheik player still wants to do those things, generally speaking, because it is important for them to, like, assess and confirm that the opponent is doing the counterplay to those things, which is either jumping around them or getting out of the way of them. Depending on what they're doing, then she can access her tilts, even below the percent threshold, because hitting a forward tilt on somebody who's going to land and incur auto-cancel landing lag after they fall a bit, you can grab them out of that. That's an opening. But you can't get that opening until you confirm that they're actually doing the thing that you want them to be doing to enable that play to work. Because if you just go for it, then, yeah, like, sure, the opponent has no idea what they're doing, but the things you're doing are costing you margin against all their base plays. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. It's like that mix-up is not worth playing for until we create the conditions for it.
Okay. That's good stuff to ruminate on.
Yeah. Does that help answer your question? Because I know that you're saying that, like, you want the opponent to have no idea what you're doing, but I'm saying there's value in allowing them to know what you're doing a little bit, because we need that, like, central, like, it's like gravity. We need that central point so everything else can revolve around it. If we don't have that, then the game is just chaos.
Yes, and even if they figure you out, you can use that to your advantage if you're paying attention.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as a character like Ice Climbers, I would think that this is one of the things your character's probably really good at, because, like, it's so polarizing what the opponent wants to play around or not play around, because of how high impact some of your tools are. So it's like, yeah, your down smash, your, like, grab, like, you have very specific, in floaty matchups, your up smash once they're at kill percent, you have very defined threats that I think makes your character very, like, well suited for this kind of manipulation. Because it's kind of like the Jigglypuff thing. Like, it's not that Jigglypuff's neutral is broken. It's very good, and it is kind of broken in certain ways. But the thing that really like exaggerates that brokenness and takes it to that next level, it's all like how she it's the threat factor. It's the it factor of, like, certain tools, like her up air, her grab, her up tilt, like. The fact that you can just be deleted after getting hit... the fact that you can just be deleted by those things is, like, really what makes her powerful. And makes her, like, scary. And makes people, like, play extra cautious against her.
Yeah, it was like Ices when they had wobbling.
Yeah, I mean, like, even now, though, like, if you take a look at how... Like, Moth... God, like, Moth almost, like, 0 to death to Jigglypuff just by winning a coin flip. I was, like, analyzing a set of hers for Trail... And I was just, like, blown away by how she did the nobble, got the regrab, and almost just, like, converted to death off of it. I was like, well, that is unreal. On Dreamland, no less. I was like, Jesus. Because it's like, you do, like, 60 damage, and then you get, like, a grab, and it's like, God, if she wins, like, even the barest hint of a DI mix-up, like, Dawson is dead here. Like, that's crazy. And he would be dead on every other stage. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhoozy, does that answer your question? Because I know that this is a big topic, so we can kind of get lost in it, as you pointed out. But I don't want us to get lost in it, but I do want to leave you, like, at least leave you somewhat satisfied with the answer. Does that help at all?
Yes. I need to start crafting my own destiny, in a way, in neutral. And in other sequences that lead for neutral.
Absolutely. In the short term, order always like beats chaos, in my opinion. In the long run, who knows? Because we're only here for a short time. Anyway, I've sent you my spectator code. Let's launch the game. Watch you warm up.
I think I have it going.
Okay. I'm not showing a broadcast. Like, I'm refreshing, but it's saying no users are broadcast.
Oh, okay. Let me...
Do you have the game running?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, how do I get Slippy back up with the game running?
Do you have a... What type of computer are you on?
Windows.
Hit the Windows key, and it should bring up everything open.
Yeah, I do that, and then I click Slippy, and then it keeps the melee screen open.
Oh, that's probably a Dolphin settings.
Wish I could just drag it to my other monitor.
You can do that. Like, here, so what are you saying? Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So then we just go to the spectator tab.
Should be working now.
Okay, and yep, I can see you now.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So I won't be able to see you when you're in the menu, but I do see your connect code. Like, all of this looks good. So yeah, we should be cracking. What rank are you at right now? Have you been playing or?
No, so I rarely play net play singles.
Okay.
It's been about a year since I've done ranked in like a session type mode. I usually practice on a CRTV against computers.
Gotcha. And let me know if we've got a match.
We do have a match. We're stage striking now.
Okay, I won't be able to see this. That's fine. So okay, so these would be like your placement matches then. Huh.
I suppose.
That's interesting. I wonder what we'll get. You get like a huge variety with placement matches. Yep, I can see you. Yep, we're cooking. I can hear a lot of the audio on your end. We can just fix that after the game.
I'll lower it a little bit.
Sure. Your blizzards have gotten way better. Try to use your fair more. Like short hop fair, I think. Like when you have the two of them together.
As like an approacher.
Approach walling just in general, but like I think that for walling out his like jumping back with it when he's coming forward with down air and stuff, I think that can be good. I notice you back up a lot. Nice, nice. I see. Yep, good roll. Let's try to lower the game volume just a smidge. Yeah, I don't think...
Stage?
Oh, I don't think
Stage?
I don't think it terribly matters against this person. Whatever you feel like getting rid of, really. I don't like Battlefield personally, but...
I was gonna say stage and matchup theory is like non-existent in my brain.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about that briefly.
Right now?
We'll talk about it after the set.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that you're going for it. If you fight Type for people and you find you're not getting it, then I would just, yeah, this is a kind of thing that you have to grind, so totally fine if you just go for old school wobbling, like for the 4 pummels, totally fine. I didn't realize that their forward tilt did 7 damage. I always thought it did like 4, and then I realized it's just the half damage effect from the being grabbed property. I see you hesitated. You weren't thinking that he was gonna DI in again. What were you?
I don't quite remember what I was thinking. I should think more and vibe less.
Well, I think that you probably just expected him to like not DI in again, like not DI in twice on a down throw regrab, which makes sense. What I would say is maybe is it possible we could have just up thrown him?
Possibly, but now I'm struggling to remember what the situation was.
Don't worry. Don't overload yourself. Let's just focus on beating this Falco. Like the back throw.
Whoa.
Nice. I saw that you did the full novel.
That's the first one I've ever done.
How did it feel? Powerful.
Feels powerful. The timing feels... Well, in my mind, the timing is, if you can do a nobble, can't you just do a blizzobble?
There's a video that I was watching that goes over the details of this. I'm not suggesting we watch it here, but maybe, like, what I could do is I could send it to you, and then you could, like, then it could... Yeah, that's something that you could potentially...
Okay.
Yeah, so let me get that for you. I have a feeling it has to do with like with the fact that Nana is still in grab lag, whereas when you're doing the blizzobble, like the blizzard, pummel, blizzard, like when you're doing those setups, usually it's at a forward throw that they recommend you do those. So I think it has to do with like the grab ending lag and how and where she has to go relative to you when you're like sliding around and she's like syncing up with you again. Something like that. But I don't know for sure, so let me just, I'll see the video. How'd you feel about that one, though?
About the novel or the game?
Just overall the games.
I don't feel great against Falco. I don't feel great against anyone right now, honestly. But that felt like a very low maintenance match.
Mm-hmm.
When the Falco's really good with lasers and tech, I feel like I can't really move, and my tech goes down way, way, way down when the Falco's tech is way better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really have any thoughts about that. That one was sort of just a hit what I see on the screen type match.
Cool. So I'm gonna make it. So something I noticed is that a lot of the up airs you went for, I think that they're meant to like intercept jumps, but the Falco was on the ground, and because he didn't jump, your up air did not work. So what I'm gonna suggest is, let's try to use our fair there, because the fair hits above you, right? But then it also comes down and hits the ground. So it kind of like multitasks a little bit. So I'm not suggesting we get rid of our up airs. I'm just saying that like in some of the spots that where we would go for up air, if the opponent's on the ground and we see that he's on the ground or like he's about to hit the ground, perhaps we go for fair instead. That's all.
Okay.
The other one I would say is fair covers a huge space and has way more active frames than your forward smash does. Fair is active for I think like 4 frames or 5 frames, whereas F smash is active for 2. So I think on some edge guards, if you have the time to set up the fair, it gives you much better overall coverage compared to forward smashing. And then it either meteors them or pops them up for back air anyway, so it still gives you a very good opportunity to kill them. So that would be the other small adjustment I would suggest making. So using fair during edge guards, especially versus Firefoxes, and versus like Space Animal up B. And then if the opponent is on the ground and you're trying to like cover both a jump and also where they are on the ground or about to be on the ground, then perhaps we go for fair a little more there.
Great.
Those are the only 2 adjustments, though. I think your play looks quite good. Let's queue up another set.
Okay. How's your day going, by the way?
I just woke up and I'm doing my favorite job in the world. My day is going fantastic.
We got a Samus.
Ew. Fair is good versus her too, though, because like again, she's a crouch heavy character, so like having like it just kind of it's a stomp, right? So yeah, stomping good on down holder. Oh, for stages, I always think about like where does my character have trouble reaching, and where
it's about as far as I take it.
Yeah, I think Yoshi's is a good pick against this character. Volume's good, by the way.
Okay.
Let's not be afraid to get under her with, like... Let's not be afraid to, like, try to get under her more proactively.
Okay.
And, like, use our up smash when she lands on the side platforms. Nice. Remember, when you see her falling towards in a spot where she has to go to the side platform, don't be afraid to just up smash underneath her. It will hit her through the platform.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. I wish I had Nana's like awareness of the cloud.
Okay.
I swear, you're off by like pixels. Were you going for Randall?
No.
Okay. Nice. That's that like thing we were talking about versus Fox, how you can get like behind there and like when they are going for like good for nairs, yeah, you get behind and down smashed. I love that. See, on these misses where she's like in front of you on the ground and like committed, those are the types of things where I would consider fairing. Because again, like it knocks her down, right? So then you can like fair down smash possibly.
Yeah.
Also, it traded there. Like, if you had gone for like a grab or something, I don't think we get the damage there. Nice. Oh, she's alive. Don't be afraid to threaten her like free fall zone with your back air. Like again, your back air is very, very powerful and is disjointed. So like it's not trivial, especially if she's facing towards you. It's not trivial for her to contest it because she can't back air back when she's like facing you. Yeah. See, like you just fight her with your moves, and then ice block when you calf where it's good. Love it.
I don't like that matchup.
Really?
I feel like it's execution heavy. But that Samus was not doing missiles.
Yeah, I can feel that. Like, what do you do against missiles? Do you just like ice block back and like just break them with the?
I stand there and F tilt them. I can also short hop dare through them to gain some space. I can also dash attack them. Those are some options.
Use the ice blocks. The ice blocks should be able to contest them. Oh, we have somebody going the counter.
Yeah.
The other counter.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. We're fine. You've beaten bad Peach before. You've beaten like Peach before.
Net play Peach is a. I lose against every net play Peach I run into.
So let's change that. Let's go for more. So we're going for jabs. Remember, her whole thing is that she's good at counterattacks. So we want to do moves that have enough impact for them to be safe. So that means forward air. That means up air. That means back air. And if she's on the ground, we have to like bias towards the back air and forward air part of that. We're also going to avoid going for jab grab style setups unless she's in the air, like low off the ground or something. And remember, we can just up smash her too when she's like floating above us. There you go. Like if she's gonna go into that like that float position, then yeah, like we can punish her. Love that.
Oh.
We got a little handsy. That's okay. Remember, her whole thing is that she's good at not getting grabbed. But we have other, so that just means we have to beat her up with other things. This is a matchup where I feel like at high level, like when ice climbers win, it's usually not from like grabbing her a lot. Yeah, like this is this type of stuff. And you can see how using these powerful, heavy moves kind of like forces her to shield. Not so bad, is it? Like, it's still an uphill matchup. Like, I'm not going to say this matchup doesn't suck, but like, it's not as bad when you know what you're supposed to do.
I have a theory that I need to camp the top platform versus her. Maybe that's something we can discuss.
I think it helps. I think it helps when you've got a lead because it pulls her into positions where you can grab her. and get the handoff on her. So I don't know if I would like make it my main strategy, but I think it's definitely an important part of it. Nice. One more hit, probably. One more hit that isn't that. There we go.
I'm gonna have to listen to what you were saying, because a lot of it got blocked out in the heat of the moment.
I can tell you. What I was saying was, I think that top platform is important. I don't think it is like a primary strategy, but I think it's really important for like disengaging and kind of encouraging her to come to spots where she wants to fight us. Like, sorry, where she doesn't want to fight us because we have like a bunch of surfaces nearby that let us hand off her.
Yeah. My kind of thought process was she kind of takes a long time to get high vertically. If she's going to be on the side platforms while I'm up there, I can do ice blocks. If she's going to hover below me, I can kind of threaten with fair, which hits well below the platform. The only thing that kind of has messed me up consistently, I would say, is umbrella, but I feel like that's quite exploitable if I'm looking for it. A lot of times I'm just not expecting her to umbrella under me.
Yeah,
what I really like about it...
What would you do about the umbrella?
I would have to test some things, but the first thing that comes to mind is crouch canceling it.
I think, yeah, it's that and shield grabbing are the first two that I'm like, yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah, but the main thing I like about platform camping is that she will get it. A lot of Peaches will get into this mode of like, well, I'm just going to grab turnips now. And they will start autopiloting turnips, and I just fall down and I get the freest like fairs and bears or even like tomahawk grabs. Or they'll be jumping up midway up to the top platform, kind of like trying to bait me. And I get these drop down like dares, double dares, like 18 damage. And then I just bop her. And then I'm kind of like, she's kind of higher than me now, and I'm under her, and I can get her with up airs. And it kind of baits her up. And then if I sneak down at the right moments, now I'm under her with up airs. And it kind of feels like when I get hit up there, she can't rail me as hard.
No, because she doesn't have as much runway to, like... One of the reasons why she's so good against this character is because she kind of, like, neutralizes FD, I think. Because she has so much, like... They both use runway really effectively. Because every time... With her having runway, like, just space immediately below her... she can easily, like, kind of, like, rifle off float cancels, right? So she can keep, like, going and pounding away at Nana, like, until she's dead. Whereas if you're hit up there, she has to kind of go through her aerial's natural, like, end lags, or, like, drop a lot lower, and then go through the effort of getting back up in the air. So yeah, there's just way more time between the attacks. So nope, that all makes sense.
Yeah, and her strong position against me diagonally in the air, where it's hard for me to cover... For her to get to that position while I'm on the top platform, she has to use like her double jump and get into a float to get into that position at that height, which like cuts off a bunch of her resources too.
Yeah, so then you can it's probably easier because she's less like adjustable. It's probably easier to like graze her with like an ice block or like a pit of a blizzard or something. And then because you know she has no resources, then like when she's falling down, you can just like, you know, it's easier to get the grab. It's still not easy, but like it's more doable because she can't just like bail out because she's used everything. So yeah, all of that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, then you can get at low percent, you can get these fares on the platform. When she's under the platform, it pops her right up for a grab. The fare also, if you're coming down with the fare, a lot of times she gets smacked into the ground and you get like a jab reset grab or something. I got one of those last game on the side platform, but I messed up the handoff. It just seems like there's good juice.
I would agree with
top.
Oh no, I would agree with that. And actually, the fairs you were doing there, like kind of the diagonal approach angle, that's kind of like what I was like when you were side to side with her or coming in from above. Like that's basically the kind of thing that I was suggesting versus the Samus, because it's like and versus the Falco, because yeah, like especially when they're already gonna land, when they're about to land, or if they're just sitting there crouching. Yeah, why not hit them with like a meteor, right?
Yeah.
So same idea. It look like you clearly already know this concept in the Peach matchup. All I'm suggesting is that like we take some of these concepts, like hitting with fairs, using the like hitting them with fairs, like to kind of multitask our coverage. I'm just suggesting we apply them to other characters.
Would you say Ice Climber's Fair works in similar spots? It doesn't hit in the same way, but does it work? Does it find the hits in the same way that like Dr. Mario and Ganon's Fair find hits?
Yeah, like it's a big arcing, like it's slower than them, so but it's also more disjointed than them, right? Because it's using the hammer. So it's just kind of like this, doesn't have as much range as Ganon, but more than Doc for sure. So yeah, it's just kind of this like big arcing move that's out for a while that has good hit properties. So yeah, similar idea.
Okay, I'll start. I use a lot of in-place fairs, but not too many approaching fairs or like aggressive moving towards them fair where they are fairs.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I would like dash jump into it. Like I think that like the limit of fair would be for me would be like if it involves you moving at a fairly sharp diagonal, like you're jumping up in place and then drifting forward, I think that's fine. Would I dash jump directly into Fox's space or like Samus's space with like a forward air? No. But would I jump in place and then lean forward? Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that clarify, like, the use of fairs? Because I know that it's a scary move, and I get it. Like, it is slow, but I think that, like, in place and then move forward, and, like, basically jumping up and then drifting forward, I think, is fine. But dash jumping forward with a giant slow move, probably not, because you have better ways of moving forward and attacking.
Okay. I'll queue up again, then.
Yeah, let's do it. How are you finding this is going, by the way? Like, I know it's a little different, but, like, how does this compare to last time?
I like it. I like just playing and being told, like, do this better thing instead. It saves me a lot of time and energy, and it catches a lot of things I don't catch, so...
So this is working for you?
Yes.
Alright, perfect.
You got another peach.
Of course. Nice. Nice, didn't DI into that? Nice. Nice. Okay. I like how that stock was played. Hmm. When she floats in... Yeah, exactly. Like, let's harass her out of... When she's, like, floating above the blizzard, let's harass her out of, like, the spot where our blizzard covers. With Popo. So we can, like, kind of use the two of them together. We're having trouble with these turnips. Baited. Alright. Nice. Try catching the turnips when you're both like playing like full screen, and just throw them back at her, or like cover her approach zone with them.
I botched that.
It's all good. Nice. Easy clap. But yeah, I would suggest when she's at a distance and holding turnip, don't necessarily wave dash forward. Walk, use your like slower ground movement, and don't be afraid to just catch the turnip and throw it back at her, because you're wave dashing into the turnips a lot, and then that gets you disoriented, and then Nana gets killed. So we're just going to be a little more patient when she's got them. That was clean. I liked all that. Like, the ending was a little messy, but it's all good. Also, I love that you're using up smash at lower damages, because yeah, the high impact, like the high base knockback is really valuable there. Love that desync. Love that you harassed her out of it.
I mess those little things up all the time.
Why grab there? Like, what if we went for like a higher, like something with more coverage, like down smash?
For which situation?
Knock down on the platform.
Like wave land down smash?
Yeah.
Could try it.
Or go onto the platform with like fair. Another one. Well, at least we didn't lose our Nana.
May have lost Popo though.
Nah, we live it. We livin'. Get her out of here. I noticed you haven't messed this up on Peach, like, once. Like, yep, this timing is, like, drilled into his brain.
It has.
Alright, so... we're gonna do 5-0 for placements? I think we will. Let's talk about that set real quick.
Okay.
So I would say everything looked good. I like that you started implementing the turnip catch and throws. One thing I'm curious, why do you think we do that?
The turnip catch and throws?
Yeah, like, why do you think we catch the turnip and throw it back at her, or catch the turnip and use it as part of our zoning?
Why do we do it?
Yeah. Why not try to rush her down? Like, why don't we try to rush her while she's got it?
Well, because her turnip acts as an overshoot and an undershoot, so it covers like 2/3 of us trying to hit her, like roughly speaking. And I don't know, just having a turnip is good.
Yeah, exactly. So like this is what I'm bringing this up because this is what I mean about that structure we're talking about. So like the peach eventually figured out that we were catching the turnips. So then she started doing them a little bit less or doing them at angles that aren't as good for her. So we don't ever need to change our play. What I'm getting at is that structure is so sound, we don't have to actually change anything in that position or in that game state unless the peach shows us that changing it is a bad idea. If her solution does not actually counter what we're doing, if her solution is to like change what she's doing, then we have essentially forced her off that play onto something weaker. That's a good thing for us. So there's no incentive for us to stop doing that in those positions as they appear. And because she's changing her gears and going elsewhere, then we have the luxury of just being able to, like, we still have that, like, play occupying that slot, and we can see her changing and, like, switching to a different situation. So then that's our go-ahead to, like, change what we're doing. But we're just, this is what I mean. We don't always, while prediction is useful, it doesn't always, like, necessarily, it's not always necessarily required because of how the flow of combat works.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Does that help, like, put to concrete, like, of some of those concepts we talked about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Let's queue again.
Okay.
I feel like these are some of my most productive sessions.
With that you've had with people, or...
I find so you especially are just generally receptive to my ideas and like can kind of like figure out how they translate into your own like way of like looking at the game. That's wonderful. So that helps. The other thing that I would say is that live coaching I find generally does work better than like the just like breaking it down in like the lab, just because nothing really ever simulates the real match quite like the real match.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like looking at a petri dish instead of doing a randomized controlled trial.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to study trees, so you grow one in a lab instead of like going to a forest. I wonder who we're gonna get.
It'd be nice to get a Marth, because that's another one where I was really surprised to see Slug doing so consistent against Marth, because it was a matchup I considered possibly our worst matchup. And it's one that I feel like I haven't beaten that many good Marths at.
I think that with Marth, I think with Marth, the efforts that you're making to improve and expand on your crouch cancel game, I think those are going to be invaluable, because I think that matchup is miserable if we if like Icy's shield too much. Because like Marth's whole weakness is that the footsie tools he uses to keep us out, like his fair, his down tilt, his nair, they're not really that strong, so they're pretty susceptible to ASDI down in general. I like that you chased his air dodge, like his air dodge attempted escape. Because yeah, like it's not just a matter of like you just do the escape and you're good. Nice.
Lol.
Nice. Okay.
I I tried to make that a reverse bear. I have been working on those.
This Falcon sucks. I don't know who they are, but like... We had 15 people enter with the same tag at Gommel. They were all Kneemaster 12. So that would be a spot where fair is good because of the big arc it covers. Like that edge guard, where we went for F smash, but then yeah.
Yeah.
Try fairing here for the edge guard.
Oh, I had the order of operations totally wrong.
That's okay. It's good. It's good you went for it, even if it was like at the wrong step. So yeah, remember, fair generally with edge guarding, aerials are the first ones you do. Then it's the ground moves because the aerials have like the yeah, aerials just have the lower cooldown. Nice.
It's like, I feel like I shouldn't be falling apart like this.
So let's use our mental training. We'll take a deep breath, we acknowledge that this is happening, and then we acknowledge what we're feeling and we move on from it. Oh, that had to feel good.
Yes. Always feel good against Peach.
So after this game, let's talk about how we deal with respawn. Because that's like the big thing. I think... Hey, there's that fair thing we were talking about.
Yes. Hey, this move's good.
This move's nasty. Like, it's so good. Like, it's basically Ganon fair, but like slower, but then it's got a better disjoint, and then it has better hit properties. Because like Ganon's like fair, while it is nice that it's strong and does a lot of damage, really, I would take the Ice Climber's fair meteor property over it any day of the week. Like, giant arcing move that hits down, insane. Absolutely insane. I feel like this is like Ness's Nair in that it's like a move that people told me but it's like just bad. And then like as we like the metagame develops, it's just like, no, actually this is like one of your main moves. Like it's like everyone who told you it was bad lied to you. This Peach is so mad. I don't know what's up with all the Falcon players counter-picking these days, though. I had, like, one that went Falcon who, like, he was gold, like gold 3 or something, or plat 1 or whatever, and he switched to, like, Sheik against me in game 2 and 3, and I was like, dude, you're Falcon. Like, this is already, like, an 80-20. Like, what are you doing? They disconnected?
I baited the roll.
Yep.
Do you see how I baited that roll, though?
You, like, walked forward, I think?
I did the Nana F smash tech where only she F smashed, and I just stood there as Popo.
Oh, yeah, because okay, so yeah. So I did see you turn around, because I did... Okay, yeah. But then she got it. That's sick. Great application. So, let's talk about respawning. Let's talk about respawning real quick. So, what is your current game plan for dealing with somebody who is respawning?
Any character?
Just like, yeah, just generally speaking.
So if this was like super duper tournament mode, my base is to light shield in center stage, and then basically pick a direction I want to move, either with a wave, usually with a wave dash, like right when they're falling above me, just like pick a direction. Mm-hmm. That's like kind of like the first 50-50. I don't know. I don't really have like this is what I'm going to do first always, but mostly it's light shielding in center stage with both ice climbers as like the start. It doesn't, sometimes I'm stuck there the whole time light shielding. Sometimes I move. Sometimes I do a full hop, a simple full hop. Sometimes messes people up because they're used to me going left or right.
Cool. Let's go into direct together for just a second, and I'm going to teach you, like, we're going to go over, like, how we can structure this more effectively. I have picked the perfect character for this demonstration. You will, if you think you know who it is, you're probably right.
I'm going to guess that it's Marth.
You're very close. So, interestingly, we've gotten onto one of the two stages where this one of the two stages where this doesn't work, so let's go to this one. Okay. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is kill my Ganondorf. Cool. So, let's take a look at the stage from your perspective. Oh, it doesn't let me zoom out all the way. That's okay. So, when I'm falling down from this platform, you'll notice that I'm covering like a certain height between the two of us, right? And my double jump goes a certain way, like a certain height as well. So my theory of the case is, what you want to do is, you want to go to the top platform and then like figure it out from there, generally speaking, or go to a side platform, something like that, or go under the side platform. Like, you basically want to use the platforms as like safe zones while you're figuring out what to do about like the opponent. And the way that you decide when you have to act is based on his double jump, because after a certain point, you'll notice, as I'm falling down, I can't actually go to the top or side platforms anymore. Right?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that once I pass this point, just, like, get out of the way of my, like, stomp or, like, my moves, and then, like, dash away, and then just go to the top platform, while when I hit with your side B or double jumps, once I reach the point where I can no longer get to the top platform. So it looks like this. Yeah, exactly, just faster. Yeah. And the trick is, like, just make sure that I can't get onto the side platform, so you want to, like, do your jumps, like, kind of late. Yeah. But that makes sense, right? Because you're basically waiting until I can't go to that spot, and then you're going there.
Yes. Yes, and he would have to hard read it with, like, a double jump fair or something to the platform.
Well, the funny thing... And you can...
likely...
Well, the other thing is you can actually outspace that. Remember, we're, like, preying on the limitations of his movement, right? So, like, if you wait the right amount of time, like, so I would act when I'm about here. Like, I would make sure that you're doing your jump when I'm about here. Because once I'm at about here, it doesn't matter, like, if I can only go to one platform, which is the one that's closest to me. I guess if I stay in the dead center, then I can go to both. But if I stay dead center, then that means you can just go to the edge and work with this area.
So what comes to mind immediately is, am I going to be able to react if he comes down with an aerial? Or am I just going to get, if I try to, like, jump, am I going to get clobbered?
Oh, so you're still moving out of the way. You're moving out of the way in advance. It's the jump, okay. It's the jump that you're, like, timing based on his location.
Okay.
So, like, here. So how it would work is when you kill me again. So as you see me, like, coming down from the platform, that's when you get out of, like, you start underneath me. When you see me falling, that's when you get out of the way. And then exactly. It's not until I reach the point where I can't get onto the side platforms or top platform that you go up there.
Okay.
Because, like, as long as you're out of the way of this, it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter if I read your movement or not. Because, like, as long as you're out of the way of my main threat, which is my fair and bear, it doesn't matter if I read your movement or not. Because as long as you're outspacing, like, this territory, I don't get anything from doing anything either. So you start underneath me and then just get out of the way. And you can also use your side B to go, like, around into the top platform, too. Yeah.
Come up with some things.
But yeah, so that's the only thing I'd say on respawn, because it looks like you're just, like, very during respawn, you're generally very passive, and I think that we need to be more active and mobile. And just to make sense, to avoid things. It also works great on Marth and Marth as well. Like, here, let's do him on Battlefield. Battlefield's a good demonstration level. Like, if I die and I'm coming down, all you have to do is just get out of the way of this. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And by being underneath me to start, I'm also, like, encouraged to swing at you, which also drains more time.
Yeah.
The only thing is you just have to watch me coming down. Sometimes I've seen other ICs, like, side B to the top platform, like, while I'm doing this. Like, they'll get out of the way and then go to top. Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't seem good to me.
Alright, well...
It seems pretty like, as soon as you land, you can just jump up and start wrecking me.
Yeah, but then you can just move out of the way. Like, I think the idea then is you just keep moving out of the way. Like, again, this is a strategy of evasion. We're just trying to drain the 2 seconds of invincibility he has.
Yeah, I know, like, versus ice climbers, that's a popular one, where I'll kind of run one direction and then go back like this, and it pretty much always works. Zelda, a little bit like that. Marth, I would feel a little scared to flee by doing this. What
if you dashed away, turned around, like, what if you went, like, ran away, like, got to here, and then turned around and did the side B to finish about here, in Light Shield?
You do, like, run off.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, so the reason I like the idea of that, because you could also short hop it this way, and then just, like, fold this way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, what I'm thinking is that as long as you get on the platform facing away with your shield, if I hit your shield, I should just, like, push you off anyway.
Yep.
So that doesn't seem so bad.
One other thing to keep in mind that has petrified me and terrorized me as ice climbers versus respawn is just keeping my Nano with me. So, like, I do have to keep it to pretty simple, like, wave dashes and stuff. Sometimes she can get caught on the edges a little bit and become disconnected, and then there's weirdness, but that's one other thing. I have to keep it pretty simple to keep them together.
Sure, but I think that, like, asking you to, like, wave dash, walk a bit, or maybe wave dash and dash a bit, and then, like, you know, jump forward and then side B full the other way. I don't think that's a terribly, like, I don't think that's a terribly great ask, you know?
I can start trying it and seeing how it works out.
Yeah, and the idea is, like, again, we're just timing the wave dash carefully, so when, like, he's reached the point where he can't, like, jump for the top platform, that's when we wave dash out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or actually, as he's falling, like, as he gets to about here, this is where we'd wave dash, and then once he gets to, like, short hop height, that's when we do the jump. So, there you go. But that's the only thing I wanted to show you. Let's unleash you upon... Let me just make sure that playback is still working. And then I think that, yeah, let's unleash you on your last placement match and see where we landed.
Is it working?
Yep, we good. We're connected. What do you think of that kind of respawn strategy, though? Do you think it could work?
I think I need to see it in action. I'll be honest, I'm skeptical right now.
That's okay.
Specifically with Squalling versus Marth and getting above him.
Sure.
And getting him. So that kind of terrifies me.
Maybe we don't do the Squall versus Marth, but I think the idea is, like, even if it's not necessarily, like, we use the Squall part of it, you know, we have other things to work with. Lead chop up air on the illusions. And up Bs. Like when you're still invincible. Lead chop near also good. Nice.
DI mix up.
Yep. Easy clap.
Fly Amanita.
It's got the fly trap. That's the F smash thing though, right?
Fly Amanita I was referencing was blizzarding off stage, like towards off stage, and then they recover into it and get like frozen in place and then F smashed.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that he also had the F smash regrab chain grab. Like that was like his other big thing, right?
Possibly. I haven't picked that one up yet.
It's all good.
I see a lot of climbers doing that one though. I don't know how I feel about it.
I think it's like cool, but not very good. Oh yeah, what is Donkey... What if Hungrybox picks up Donkey Kong, what is his DK called? I'm thinking it's Hungry Kong or Donkey Box.
Hungry Donk.
Oh, Hungry Dong. Yeah. I can't believe I did not think of that. I'm gonna have to, like, update the poll. Oh, that was crazy smash TI, lordy. This guy's definitely on a box. But I think that just means that he's very down throw F smashable.
Yeah.
To mix him up, let's kill him with down throw up smash if we can. So then he's like not aware that we know.
I'm dead. I hesitated on where Nana was.
Ah. Maybe I will learn this character again. He looks fun. This looks fun.
Yep. I know what I did wrong.
Holy moly! Nice. That's kind of like how an overshoot wave dash like down smash would look. Was he trying to like ST but he failed it? That would be hilarious. He's like, oh, I guess I'm still here.
Now I can't hit it.
Try using your dash dance blizzard and stuff. Like he's keeping his like distance before going in, and if he goes above you, then yeah, exactly. Don't be afraid to like fair when he's like recovering in the corner and stuff. There you go. Completely dominated. So where did we land?
Yeah,
Gold 2. Gold 2. We 5-0'd people. We're gonna land on gold 2. That's not okay. Whatever. So, do you want to keep beating up people on ranked?
Sure.
Let's keep doing that.
You can keep pointing out my glaring flaws.
You really don't have many glaring flaws. I'm gonna level with you, but I will keep pointing out the things that I see,
or the things that you think is not a flaw, but I'm missing an opportunity. Maybe that's another word for a flaw, but
no, I'm doing that. I'm just like, when I think glaring flaws, I think that like structural weaknesses. Like there's a part of this plan that just does not work and is like detracting from like everything. Like not fairing during the edge guards is like because you're back airing or nairing or whatever is like, you know, it's kind of a missed opportunity, sure, but like it's not really like a structural weak. It's not a glaring thing. For me, a glaring thing would be like trying to up throw with Sheik. Like, you know? Let's queue.
The original match I enlisted you for.
Speak of the devil. How has that been going, by the way?
Well, I haven't played any, really. Just Dreffen?
If that would be so funny. It kind of feels Dreffen-esque, but I've never seen him play white either. She's dead. Like, I feel like I feel like this is a spot where we wanted to go onto the top platform.
Can't believe I just died to that.
Honestly, I can, because, like, you just got below the stage with Ice Climbers without your jump. Like, the only way that I can think of you surviving that is, like, with incredible smash DI up.
Of course, he put the chain away right when I decided to leave.
Cool, so they like Nehru's a lot. Nehru's is a surprisingly good move. Like, people hate on it, but it's actually not bad. This feels like a Boyd Blocks thing. Like a Boyd Blocks matchup.
Yeah.
Let's try not to get in on her so aggressively, though. Like, when she's just doing her kick shit, I think that we can just, like, we can be patient. Patient, get under her. Remember, she doesn't cover the space above her very well, so, like, something Moth does versus Jigglypuff is, kind of, like, jump above her and, like, down air during combos, or, like, just kind of, like, come in at, like, the 45-degree angle from above with her, like, down air. It sounds silly, but, like, it's kind of... I think it could be good against her. As long as you're just jumping out of the kick zone. Nice. Randy up smash kill.
It's so slippery.
This is the greatest Zelda player of our time. I will call her Hilda. I love it. I don't know if you got that joke, but it's if you did, I'm so happy. God, oh my god, this poor person. Just ledge dash through and hit her. On that note, how do you feel about ledge dashing?
Not good.
Okay. Would it be...
At least not good getting, like, the max gallant attacks out of them and stuff.
Would it help if I told you that with modern innovations we found ways of making it more consistent?
Is that the fob?
No, it's with just how you angle the stick.
Oh.
So it's pure technique.
Yeah, I'm open to hearing that and learning that.
Sure, maybe when we're not fighting the ninja lady and fairy princess who want to kill us. Nice harass. Oh yeah, the roll thing would probably be really good against her. She's dead?
I'm not sure if she was dead there.
She was. I assure you, down throw up smash kills her there. She's extremely, extremely buoyant. Like, her gravity modifier is, like, non-existent. She kinda goes off the top when Jigglypuff does. Like, slightly later, but, like, around the same ballpark. Like, basically, okay, add about 12 to 15 to all of Jigglypuff's death percents, and you've got Zelda. From, like, vertical. Like, you saw how high she went from that dash attack. Like, Jigglypuff probably goes about the same spot, right? So, that's how you know.
Gotcha.
Actually, that could... After this set, do you want to, like, learn a bit more about game mechanics? So you can, like,
sure.
Approximate things better. Yeah, let's do some stuff with weights and fall speeds. Because I think that would be useful for, like, helping you know, like, ascertain your kill percents a little bit more reliably without having to, like, memorize them, because that's boring and stupid. Let me see here. Who do we got to work with? Okay. Hopefully nobody takes that out of context. Properties, characters. Natural combo. Okay. Categories. Okay.
Oh, second rage quit of the session.
I feel like this is a normal amount. So let's see here. Okay. Gravity, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just trying to look at this and figure out how I want to do this. So, gravity does not take a direct effect on vertical noise. So there's in blah, blah. From Smash Bros. Brawl onward. Okay. So how does knockback work? Interesting. So is it that it's fall speed that does that?
So you're saying there's a way of ingraining this without memorizing a bunch of numbers and angles?
Yeah, so I would say that it affects... Okay, cool. It also affects the physics of knockback. Cool, so we need falling speed. So what we want to do here is... Yeah, because this tracks. This lines up with my expectations. Nice. So let me show you my screen for a bit. So here we have the character list. Okay?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. We can ignore the characters we can't play, like Giga Bowser and stuff. Although if you want to know about them, then by all means. But I would say that like a misunderstood thing about this game is, what do you think goes into like causing someone to die in this game? Like if we like, okay, let's actually let's duplicate this. And what do you think goes into like somebody dying off the side and dying off the top? Like what are the main factors in the former and the latter?
So off the side,
yeah,
their percent, the moves knockback itself,
sure,
the staleness of the move.
It affects damage. It affects damage. It's more impactful in later games, like there's additional modifiers that are applied. But in this game, yeah, technically, because it affects the damage applied, for sure.
So staling doesn't affect the knockback?
Nope, base knockback is the same. It doesn't do that. It only starts doing that in Brawl onwards.
Gotcha. There's DI. And I guess, would SDI apply here as well?
Yeah, because it changes your starting position. But it's fairly negligible.
Crouch cancel, unless you want to say that's like a form of DI or whatever.
Yeah, but we're missing the two big ones. So, character properties.
So right. So like
you have fall speed and
there's I forget all of them, I think, but there's weight, fall speed, gravity.
Gravity.
Maybe.
So gravity kind of affects it, but gravity isn't terribly impactful. The big ones are weight and fall speed. Those are the two ones that you kind of need to know.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Here we have the character weight list. It is different in PAL, but we can largely ignore it. Basically, weight and fall speed act as modifiers that affect the trajectory of how the character is sent and how much knockback they incur sideways or vertically. Are you with me so far?
I'm with you.
Perfect. So, in general, there's the quick and dirty way of doing this, in my opinion, is to take when you're dealing with a vertical kill or something with the capacity for vertical kill, the weight matters a little bit, but the thing that matters more is the fall speed. And I think if we compare these two charts side by side, you can kind of see what I mean. Like, Jigglypuff dies off the top extremely early. Like, you and I can agree on that?
Yeah.
Zelda also died. Like, all of these characters, like, her to her, and basically everyone to, like, Mr. Game & Watch, Dr. Mario, and Mario, we can kind of agree that these characters, like, die very early off the top, generally speaking, right?
Yeah, I consider those the floaties.
Okay, perfect. So, if we but we also know that Pichu dies very early off the top, too. Right? So, how do we explain this? Simple. This is the dominant factor in determining like how a character dies off the top. Like this accounts for most of the impact, but this accounts for some of the impact. So Pichu's like incredibly low weight modifier combined with his rather middling fall speed is what basically causes him to die off the top super early. So we can kind of like cross-reference these two and understand lightness plus like extremely low fall speed or like middle fall speed equals dies early off the top. For Zelda's side, like because this is the more dominant attribute, we can kind of take that like extreme floatiness, like terribly low falling speed, combined with rather middling weight equals dies super early. And then Jigglypuff is like who's the most extreme outlier, like dying to things at like 45 on some levels. Like this is why I'm saying I'm kind of getting at like Jigglypuff dies super early off the top because it's like and why we add like 10 to 15 for like where Zelda is because yeah, we have here and here. Like they occupy similar spots on this side, but then they occupy slightly different spots on this one. So this gives us like a form of relativity that we can measure things against, I guess, is the thing that I'm getting at.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, if I had to ask you, who's going to die off the top sooner, let's say Samus versus... Ganondorf. Who do you think it's going to be?
Who dies off the top first?
Yeah, like let's say like who's going to have the lower up smash kill point? To like who's going to die to down throw up smash sooner, Samus or Ganon?
Well, off the top of my head, I would say Samus without looking at these charts.
Yeah, so
but
like
if you look at the charts, it could be a little ambiguous if they're like their averages between both metrics are kind of, similar. I'm sure there's some like clear-cut cases, and then it gets a little more ambiguous.
I would say this is pretty clear-cut. You said Samus is going to die off the top first, right?
Yeah.
So I agree, because a point of weight separates the two of them. So, and remember, weight is the less impactful one for vertical kills. So like,
yeah, and her way more valuable metric for this topic, she's way lower.
Right. So then let's pull up INI data to like prove our hypothesis. So I'm going to pull this up on my screen. So we've got it here. So we've kind of got all our charts like side by side. And then let's go take a look at this. So ICs, and we'll shrink this a bit just so it's, well, actually we'll just move it over. We know what our values are. So let's do ICs, and let's take our up smash. Okay, ID 0. Okay, that looks about right. And let's do Samus. Let's do this on Battlefield's fine. So where is Samus? I don't see her. Come on. Okay, there we go. So no DI. We'll just have her no DI. She's dying off the top at 102. Let's now compare that to Ganon. Not even close. How much higher do we need? A solid 14%. That's a huge difference. Like 14% is a pretty much, especially when we're dealing with these kinds of ranges. 14% is like a pretty tremendous range, and yeah, it's just like this is that's big. Let's now compare. Let's do that Yoshi story one with like Zelda and Puff, so we can kind of see the impact there too. So let's start with Puff and figure out when she dies to up smash. I'm gonna guess it's about 40. I'm gonna guess it's about 56. Okay, a little higher. So 64. 64 no DI, she dies from Icy's up smash. Now granted, she's usually hit out of the air, so that's why the numbers are like skewed here. But now let's compare that to Zelda. Zelda should be down here. So I said about like add about 15%. Oh, I was off. It's 16. But either way, you can kind of see what I'm getting at. We can kind of get like a certain degree of like relativity from like from these two charts just by understanding like which one's more important for what we're looking at. And this is kind of like a quick and dirty way of doing it.
Has anyone sort of combined both of these metrics to make like a survivability metric?
Nope.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge. If they had, I would be showing it to you. But to my knowledge, this is what we got.
Okay, I'm sure there's not too many like brain teasers where it's like, oh, actually, this character dies before this one, and you would have thought otherwise because of this. I feel like most of them are pretty intuitively stacked in my mind of like the order of who dies first, and then who needs more damage. But I don't have it exactly mathematically mapped out.
Right. All I'm getting at really with showing this, though, is just how we can get a sense of, like... The biggest thing here, I think, is just how we can get a sense of, like, where somebody like, when we're expecting someone to die based on these two figures.
It's like, if Luigi dies at this percent, then I'm good to kill, like, these 10 other characters if I get the grab here.
Yeah, like, you can use that for ice climbers, right? Like, if we know Luigi dies at a percent, we know that he's pretty close to where Icy's are in terms of his their like overall buoyancy and like falling speed, and then like we know that ice climbers are lighter than Luigi, so it's like, yeah, he's definitely dead here too.
Yeah, the one small nuance with Icy's, and it's something I think is worth practicing, is that when you do down throw up air or up smash, you can time it so you're like hitting them at the max height of the up smash. So like they're not launching from the ground, they're launching from like above your head first.
Gotcha. Yeah, that seems like a good optimization.
Yeah.
Neat. Cool. So, this is just kind of like a quick and dirty thing I wanted to show. It's not like a super exact science, but this is how I like figure it. Like I was playing a Link. Some of the benefits of things like this are, I was playing against a Link player in tournament, and I don't really know like Link combo percents all that well. Like I know like, I know some basics about him, but I know that he's about the same fall speed as Sheik, and I know that he's a little heavier than her. But Ness's down throw is set knockback. So because of that, I was able to basically like put together that I could down throw dash. Like I know, because he's like kind of here in terms of weight, and she's like further down here. Mm-hmm. I was able to put together that like he'll be close enough to be able to be down throw dash attacked, as Ness, and then I got like a death combo off of it. So it's like it's little things like that like. Because I know relatively where these characters are, and gravity does play a factor into this too. Like gravity would be something else. It's like a lower impact than these other ones, but like it still technically influences it a little bit. But mainly what it does is it determines how quickly the opponent like descends. It's one of the factors of vertical knockback. So let me just grab that here. Actually, we'll just go to gravity. The thing that's, it doesn't take a direct effect on, although since a fighter's falling physics remained intact during hit stun, fighters with a combination of high falling speed and gravity will effectively resist vertical launch distance. So by knowing that, like, Link is, like, fairly, Link's, gravity modifier is fairly, like, whatever, it's not as high as Sheik's, that's kind of what let me put together, like, combined with his, like, higher weight, so he doesn't go as far. And then, everything else, I was able to put together that I would be able to down throw dash attack him. Because he's got a lot in common with Mario, kind of like in terms of his properties. And it almost works on Mario, but he's just slightly too floaty. So I was like, okay, yeah, this should probably work. Because it doesn't work on Sheik because she's slightly too fast falling and like goes slightly too far. But it doesn't work on Mario because he's slightly he's just barely able to jump it. So on Link with his like slightly like more in between spots, I should be able to just do this. And I didn't know if it would work, but I just went for it and it wound up working really well. So I just bring that up because it is useful to know like little bits about things and how they like roughly interact with each other, because it also saves you from having to like memorize like 8 trillion %.
True.
Because nobody wants to do that. Like nobody wants to know like every single kill %. It's inefficient. It's not useful. And most characters that you fight, like as long as you like kind of aim your kill % somewhat conservatively, and like, yeah, you should be fine. With that said, how do you foresee the last 25 minutes we have together, or 26 minutes we have together, being productive? Like, what makes sense to you?
Could just grind out more ranked. I don't have anything off the top of my head that's like a burning question about anything at the moment.
Well, okay, so maybe this is a good time to quickly like put together our notes for like things to work on. And then like if we want to unleash you on ranked for the last like 15 minutes or 10 or 20 minutes, then yeah, we can do that. So let's do points to no, that reflex. But key takeaways, no key items. That makes sense. So I would say that fair, using fair during edgeguard. For the coverage. Have you ever gone into Uncle Punch and taken a look at like how much space your forward air covers?
Yep.
Okay.
And I actually used to spam the fair edge guard a lot, but my mind is kind of on I've been testing this thing. I don't know if it's good. I'm about to make kind of like a decision on it. It's like the basic sequence that comes up is Sopo forward throw off stage, and then I run off and do a double jump dare. And it's supposed to act like Sheik run off, double jump nair, catch the side B, but I just haven't. It works so well against the CPUs, but I haven't quite figured it out against humans. But before that, I was doing the fair thing like crazy, so I can definitely switch back to that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that, like, fair is just so, like, it just has such like high range. Like it's just such an active hitbox that I feel like it would probably be good.
It is good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah, like I'm trying it right now and I can't hit it because like I'm not good with the character, but like, yeah, it's just, it feels good. It feels powerful. Like it feels powerful. Like the arc is like huge. So what's the advantage? Let me ask you. So what's the advantage to like the runoff down air thing? Like the runoff double jump down air thing?
There's really, there's really not that many advantages, if any. It's kind of just a cheeky option gimp.
Gotcha. So what I would say here is there what I'd say here is there a way that we can cover like the on stage, like the illusions and such, with like a more reactive strategy, or with like something like, could we potentially use a desync to like multitask this? Like, could we have Nana cover the illusions with like Ice Block or Blizzard or something, and then have Popo go for like, because they can't then do the illusion anymore because she's covering them, then that's how we know that we're supposed to fare. Like, is there a way that we could set up the system that way so we're not reacting to so much?
If there is, I would love to know, but I don't, as of right now, I'm not aware of any. In a lot of these situations, it could be like a wave dash forward F tilt bops them off stage, and it feels like the only thing I have time to do is just run off stage, double jump dare. As just like a gimpy kind of thing I've been spamming. I don't think it's like amazing by any means. It's just something that I want to see if it has utility, because it kind of works for Sheik with Nair.
Gotcha. So I would say so maybe we can, okay, so I have some ideas here then. So one thing I would say is, I think one of the really good things about the fair is that even though it's slow, it covers a huge amount of space. So maybe that suggests that, yeah, like in terms of its startup frames, it takes 19 frames of start. It's not active until 19. So with that in mind, maybe it is too slow as a strategy for covering, like, well, actually, I'm just thinking about it. Illusion doesn't move Fox until frame 21. Illusion doesn't actually move Fox until frame 21. How would you feel about just, like, going for fair anyway on something like that? Do you think it's just too slow? But the idea would be that, like, you're basically fairing whenever you think he's going to illusion, and it should cover the timing. Like, as long as you start the fair on the frame that he starts the illusion, it should cover it. Or do you think that's just a little too ambitious?
No, that sounds like what you're saying is it could be an option where I can throw it out regardless, and if he does it, I'll hit him, and if he doesn't, I should land and be actionable in time to cover an up B or something if he doesn't do the fastest recovery option in side B.
Yeah, and maybe it's not fair on the side B. Maybe we nair on that one, like, so it's like jump, short hop in place, like kind of like check to see if he does the thing. And then if he doesn't do that, so yeah, like honestly, so let's expand on that. Using fair edge guard during for the coverage versus slower recoveries, and then as an add-on to that, we're gonna include use short hops in place to prime for illusions if they miss, if they commit to up B, fast fall and land, and set up fair. So that gives us a bit more of a process. Like that's a little less like finicky. And then like the other thing that's nice is this kind of like lets us know that if they don't have the option to illusion, we can set up the fair, because we don't have to prime with the short hops at that point because we know that they can't illusion. Like if they're recovering from below, for example. So I think that makes sense for that one. Do you have anything to add there, or do you think we can move on from that one?
I don't have anything to add to the edge guarding with fair, but I did have another thing with fair that is roughly around the same idea that I wanted to run by you.
Absolutely.
And I was practicing Sopo versus Fox, and I was thinking it's sort of like is this a free thing to do, and is there no opportunity cost to this? And that's sort of doing like down throw, and it's like what Falcons do. They down throw and then fair the landing spot, so it covers mistech and tech in place. And then if they roll away, I land and I'm actionable and I can like tech chase them. But I'm thinking of that for more like corner situations, because that's kind of where I saw Falcon do it. I think Wizrobe a long time ago. Just like a down throw and then like knee landing spot and then L cancel it and grab if they rolled away.
I think I've seen Moth do. I don't think there's enough time for that off of down. I don't think there's enough time for that off down throw and back throw. But I think I've seen Moth do basically that combo with up throw onto side platform.
So he fares the landing spot and then lands and grabs if they teched away or if they teched basically.
Yeah, like during tech chase. So I'm just gonna summarize it as during tech chase, tech chases off pop-ups. Fair the landing spot for coverage. Yeah, like I've definitely seen Moth do that. Usually when she does it with down throw, it's versus floatier characters when they land on side plats. But versus Fox and Falco and Falcon, it's when she up throws them and they land on side plat, and then she goes for like the fair on where they land, and then kind of like just tech chases normally on the other stuff. Like if it. Yeah, so like I think that the idea of fairing like the landing spot for coverage, kind of like doing what Foxes do with falling up air, or what Falcons do with like the delay fast fall up air, or the knee or back air on the tech stand time and miss tech timing. I think that's a great idea. It's just we just need to figure out when it works. But I think as a concept, it makes a ton of sense.
Okay.
And then the other thing I would say is fair, using fair versus crouching opponent versus crouching opponents or opponents that are about to land, or opponents that are committed to a landing spot. Because like the idea is that we're kind of like doing what Ganondorf does and just like attacking them in a vulnerable position. If we try to grab it, a lot of times they can push a button and like deny us, but like we're using the strength of our disjoint to our advantage there.
Makes sense.
Oh, and one last thing we've seen, I would say, let's make sure that we're using our Boyd as a refresher. Let's make sure we're using Boyd blocks versus Zelda and Marth, and heavy emphasis on emphasize DD Blizzard plus crouch cancel and crouch cancel over shielding versus Marth as well, because I know that you said that that's a problem matchup, but I think that those things will help you a lot there.
Yes.
And with that, I think that's basically all I would have you work on. I don't know if you're planning on booking more sessions, but if you are, at least to get you started, this should be good. And if you want to book another session, another batch, totally fine. Just let me know. And yeah, I would think that like another 2 weeks out would be a good amount of time to work on this. Like I already see you crouch canceling things more, so this is all good. The real thing here is for the third item, using fairs versus crouching opponents or crouching. Currently we're using up air here, but it doesn't cover that spot very well, that space very effectively, which is why fair is being suggested. You might find that fair is too slow. In that case, maybe we need to maybe we need to ice block, maybe we need to back air, like maybe we need to do something else. I don't know what it is, but like I know that up air isn't hitting, so maybe we need to fast fall the up air for all we know. But like I think that fair is a good starting point, because it also gives us because if it works, if this is like a play going forward and it looks like it should, this is very high impact. The other thing that you could do there is dash dance Blizzard. So actually,
there's also the one tech where I wave dash forward slightly and make Nana F smash and keep Popo empty. I feel like that can be applied in so many situations too.
Yeah, so like let's make a note of that. So let's say using turn Nana F smash versus those spot. So we'll do the same. We'll copy the note. I'm gonna call turn Nana F smash just TNF. Like I'm gonna abbreviate it to that, but I don't, and then what we're going, but it has it spelled out fully, and then we're just going to copy that and also kind of like add using desync Blizzard there, because those I think also make a ton of sense in those spots. Yeah, desync Blizzard. DD Blizzard.
What's good about the Nana F Smash thing is your thing is saying using fair versus opponents that are committed to a landing spot, but like even if they don't double jump yet, the beauty of the Nana F Smash is it covers them if they land, and then if they double jump, that's also cool because Popo is completely empty.
Yeah, and I think, so I'm saying, like, I'm the two I'm leaning towards that immediately jump to mind are, like, the up air, but, the fair, and I can see how that doesn't really, well, if they double jump, though, like, wouldn't you just, like, land an L cancel, and then you could just, like, up air under them anyhow?
For which situation?
Well, you're saying that, like, the turn Nana F Smash is good because they can double jump, and I'm saying that, like, we can, if we fair, because we think they're going to land there, and they double jump, we can just, the arc of the fair might just hit them, because it does start above us, and then even if it doesn't do that, we're still landing from a short hop aerial. So, like, we're fairly actionable after that, right?
In my mind, against someone fast like Fox, I feel like possibly I could get an up tilt out. If he's double jumping and coming right back down on me, I think I could get an up tilt out and catch him. But I'm not sure if everything else might be... I'm not sure.
True. So, you know what? Theory Smash is very difficult. It's going to be hard to figure this out just by, like, talking about it. But I think that this is, like, a good starting point. We can figure out, like, like, the fact that we have 3 options for this situation, like, DD Blizzard has similar perks as the turn Nana F Smash, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because we're keeping Popo actionable, but we're still pressuring that spot really hard. So, but the advantage to the turn Nana F Smash is that we're not messing around with Smash DI and, like, survival tactics and other things like that. We're just, like, pelting them with, like, a kill move. So I think that there's pros and cons to, like, the different lines of play here. How they fit together, I think you'll figure out yourself. That's not really, like, what I'm here for. What I'm here is just to make sure that you have a structure that you can work on so that you can improve. And I think that we've gotten that here. That's my feeling. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I'm perfectly fine to take this framework into the lab and figure out the spots for them. I'm not expecting you to come back and be like, oh, against Dr. Mario at 88% on the side platform on Yoshi's, if you do this desync at this moment, this is going to be great for you. Like, I'm not expecting that out of you.
Okay, I appreciate that. So I think with our last 10 minutes, let's queue up ranked one more time, and I think that's a great way to close the day.
All right. Can you see my thing?
I can still see your thing. We're good.
I'm going to get back into fair edge guard spam mode.
All right. Excellent.
Because the runoff dare stuff hasn't been working.
Honestly, I gave you so much I give you, like, a ton of props for, like, being able to, like, because I've had a lot of ideas with, like, Sheik, Ness, whatever character I'm playing, and, like, some of them have been good, some of them have not, most of them have not, and it's just, like, the ability to kind of accept that, like, this is not maybe the best direction for the character and just move on from it without making it your whole personality, it's, like, really, really valuable, because, like, lots of people get hung up on ideas that just aren't good.
Right, like, I got into, like, this mode where it's like, you know, I don't see Climbers using Nair. There's got to be Nair uses. So I've just been spamming that everywhere, like, wave dash grab ledge hop Nair to, like, hit a Fox up B recovery. And it's just, like, getting a little extravagant here when there's probably simpler things that cover more options.
I like their Nair, but I don't love their Nair, if that makes sense.
I've been tinkering, like, knockdown Nair kind of has some stuff instead of, like, coming down with Dare all the time.
All right, perfect. This is the guy somebody we wanted.
He doesn't feel good right off the bat, but maybe I'll eat my words.
So that would be a spot where I'd say, like, undershooting makes... Oh, you did the slip hog. Let's go. Or you did something. Oh, you desynced the ice block and then you, like, grabbed edge. Okay, I see.
Yes.
A lot of times against these floatier characters, they, like, DI your, they DI the blizzard above your grab. On those ones, try dash attacking or up smashing them.
Right. This lag situation's a little rough too, by the way.
Okay. I don't see the lag on your end, so I'm just gonna take your word for it and assume that it's awful.
It's like underwater mode.
I'm glad that I went to Gommel. Because I learned a lot. I got to get destroyed by Quang, and then I almost made it out of made it into bracket. I made it into top 128, but I missed it by one stock last hit. It was against a PR Marth player in my region. I was like, damn it, Chris.
Is that the first tournament you've competed in a long time?
I went to a regional last year and I got 17th, which was fine. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. It was fine. But I would say that yeah, this is my first major. So I finished 129th at my first day back.
One day I'll get a passport and go to that.
Gommel is great. Honestly, I have never been to a Gommel I didn't like. See, so when you get up on the side platform, when you're not able to get there in time, I feel like that's the type of situation I wouldn't normally think to do that. I would be thinking, how do we stay above Marth and, work this positional advantage that we have?
How do we stay above Marth?
How do we stay under Marth?
Okay.
Because once we're on the same plane as him, I feel like he's got a lot of power. Because he can just, especially on the side plat, because he can fall through with, shield drop fair and stuff. But if we're underneath him, we can, put moves in the way of him and stuff. We have more harassing power. I feel like trying too hard to grab Marth is often, doom. What spells are doom. He's pretty squishy if you just get him above you and, get rid of his jump or side B. Actually, that is a thing that can help, that the chart can help with. So throws are based on weight, right? So a lot of timings are based on weight. So that chart also, those charts also tell you relatively how fast you should be after your for your handoff timings.
Yes, I was aware of the handoff timing stuff.
Okay. So I would think that Marth should be an extremely similar timing to Peach.
If that's so, I'm a little surprised because he feels awkward for some reason.
He's slightly lighter, so he's faster, but he's very, very close to weight for the princesses. Yeah, he's very close to them. He's just slightly more anorexic than them. It's all the cardio he does. He's just always running. I feel like the fair edge guard would kind of be good on him too, when he's recovering low. You have to plan it in advance, but yeah, it hits pretty far below the stage, you know?
Yeah. You think his up B sword could stop me?
Probably, but if he hits you, then like, I'd rather get hit by his up B than I would get hit by his ledge hop fair. And when we do the ice blocks and stuff like sync together nearby, if he gets past them, then he's hitting us with like something chunkier, like something more powerful. Whereas if we just get hit by like the front of his up B, it's not really that big a deal.
Yeah.
So that's part of the calculation. It's like, if I have to get hit, like if I'm not in a spot where I can't really do like the better edge guards, like the slip hog and stuff, or like the desync ice cube edge grab and whatever, like if I can't do the really powerful things, then at least this gives me like coverage that isn't risky on the other stuff that can happen.
That didn't feel great.
No, but it was very laggy. Or are you talking about the overall session?
No, I'm talking about that Marth game. I just feel like I do something fundamentally wrong in that matchup. Did you see when he just started ripping F smashes and I lost to like all of them?
No, it just means you have to wave shield.
Yeah, that's the easy counter to F smash, I know that, but for some reason I just get hit by them anyway. It feels like, I don't know. I don't like wave dashing around my shield against Marth, just because it starts to dwindle and then everything starts to poke, and then it sucks. And I'm trying to get away from shielding in general against him.
Okay, so I agree with.
It feels like a hard matchup to space around and stuff.
And I agree with all of that. I think that's part of what the purpose of the ice wall is. Like, the ice wall kind of like helps us like control his timings a little bit, so that even though the punish windows are difficult, and a lot of his stuff will still be safe. It like kind of like forces him to like play around certain obstacles, so that we're not having to like deal with every single one of his like threat timings. We only have to deal with like a small subset of them. So then, yeah. Like, how we act and react is, like, more straightforward, I guess is how I'd look at it. The only thing I'd comment there is, it's... F-Smash is annoying, and it is kind of like it is a haymaker. I would look for for what he does before the F-Smash. Like,
yeah.
The most important thing about, like, power hits, like that F smash, Fox's up smash, stuff like that, is what they do beforehand, because that's what allows us to prime our reactions for them and act accordingly. But because those are punishable moves, and we don't want to be just wave dashing around and shield. But if he has a tell, like a lot of times they wave dash up and do it. A lot of times it's after an aerial. Like if we know, a lot of times they walk away first. Like if we know that that's like kind of their cue for it, then we can respond accordingly. But we have to just pay attention for those things.
Do you find that it's difficult when an action moment happens? Do you find it's difficult to recall what happened before that? Because I know, like, when it comes to someone, let's say, like, a Fox does a short hop nair and whiffs, seeing what they do after that, it seems easier to me, because it's like, okay, the chain of action just started, and now I'm paying attention to what happens after. But, like, when an action move comes out, do you find that it's more difficult to recall what just happened that led up to that, because you were seeing information, but you weren't seeing like the action moment yet? So it's almost like, are you paying attention to every little thing and recalling it, or is there a more efficient and sort of shorthand way to do that?
I always pay more attention to movement than actions. So the reason for that is that the movement is what determines what actions are available. So
movement.
So movement, I would say, like, are they wave dashing? Like, did they just wave dash? Did they just walk? Did they just jump? Did they just, like, dash? Because those are
you put it... Mm-hmm. You bring it down to the specific type of movement, not just the fact that they are moving in this space and time right now.
Correct, because where they're moving is important, but what movement they're using is equally important. because what movement they're doing tells me what they have available. If Sheik is dashing towards me until she enters run, I know that she is until she enters runs where she can, like, you know, cancel it with, like, crouch and then forward tilt. I know that forward tilt is not a problem. So because of knowing that forward tilt is not a problem, how I play around that play in that situation changes, because I know that I don't have to deal with her, like, main ground keep out tool. Similarly, if she's wave dashing back, if she's wave dashing as her main movement, I know that, like, there's certain beats where she's inactive because that's just how wave dashing works. But I also know that coming out of that wave dash, she has access to all of her most powerful ground moves, because she can do all of her tilts, she can do her down smash, she's got everything. So with that in mind, depending on which one they're doing, I know they're more likely to do certain things. Like, if she's dashing around a lot, I know she's more likely to jump and structure her game more around aerials and grabs. But if she's wave dashing or going and working in longer distances and entering run, then I know that she's more likely to be going for tilts and things, because they're on the table. And why would she be doing those? Why would she be committing to, like, laggier movements that require more from her, if she wasn't going for the tools that are accessible from those movements, right? Because otherwise, wouldn't it make more sense for her to be dash dancing?
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I look at it.
Gotcha. I think I need to up my information processing abilities in real time.
Start small. I know that you're good at learning, because, like, again, you pick up things well from when we were together, and I also know that, like, you know, you've been very good at this game and are quite good at it. So I know that you can do this, but I would suggest start small. Start by picking out the openers. So, like, openers would be, like, the base movement that provide you your set of options, and, like, think about and just be aware of, like, what's available out of those options. Just, like, that can be a focal point. And then just kind of expand from there. But that's where I would start with this concept.
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just, I'll let you go. Let me know if you want to book any more. I would love to have you. And, yeah, we'll just take it from there. We'll take it from there or not. But either way, this has been lovely. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and fun working on this stuff, okay?
You as well. And I likely will book more. Hopefully I'll have some actual tournament footage or something to kind of benchmark off of.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I do have to go, so I'll talk to you later, Boyd, okay?
Hey, have a great day.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.